Welcome back to Slowburn. Tonight we're settling in for one of those conversations that pretends it's going to stay on track and then immediately takes a left turn into chaos, honesty, and bookish confessionals, exactly how we like it. And we're not spiraling alone tonight. We're joined by the incredible Stacia Kay Wood, author, storyteller, sort of certified vibe curator. She writes the kind of romances that unravel slowly, hit deeply, and linger along after you close the book. Her worlds simmer with secrets, longing, second chances, and that delicious emotional tension we all live for. She's smart, warm, wildly talented, and basically tailor-made for a slow burn episode. So settle in, take a breath, dim the lights if you're feeling dramatic. Let's welcome Stacia, dive into tonight's recording, and see exactly where the mood takes us. So welcome to Slow Burn with us.
Thank you for
Hello.
having me.
Here. And we saw you at Lit and Libations a couple weeks ago, and that was so great to see you there. You don't get to see many people outside of the computer, so it was very nice to see people in real life.
Yeah, that was
We
fun.
do exist.
No, right? And I
Right?
wasn't in my PJs. That was
Right?
also
Right?
Yeah,
Half
I
my
was actually-
makeup were not on.
Right. We were all dressed up in beads and everything.
I know. I felt so fancy. I even put on
Lovely.
heels.
I
You're
did not
better
go
than
that far.
I.
I know. So to get us started, like you write a lot about historical fiction. So what drew you into historical romance as your primary genre?
I think it was just that I've always just loved history as a backdrop. I find it fascinating when you really get into the human stories and the human side of history. I think blame my grandfather because he always would tell us stories of just growing up, and I just wanted to continue that, and that's why I really enjoy those stories.
Secrets and second chances show up again and again and again in your work. What makes those themes so magnetic to you?
I guess because I've always wanted second chances myself,
I live for them.
right?
I screw up a lot, so it's fine.
So that's part of it, second chances. The other is, I mean, we all love a good secret and a good mystery, and I'm reading way too much Agatha Christie and all of that. So I'm not as good at writing a mystery, but I do love a secret. So there's nothing like spill the tea. And so
I, however, hate secrets. You can ask Steph. We got curator boxes this week as a lovely gift from the Curator's Bazaar, and we haven't had time to open them and record, and it has been driving me insane. I think I have texted her every day this week.
Every day. Are we going to open it? Can we open it? I was like, I can wait 2 more weeks. It's okay. Like, do you want to wait till Christmas? Fine.
No, I don't.
I will keep all your secrets.
love it.
So your next series you have coming out is The Bells and Rogues. So what can we expect from that series?
There's a little bit of everything. I start off with more with soldiers and coming home from war. And this one, of course, is Waterloo. It's a little bit farther back. If you love all things Bridgerton, you're going to love this series because there's the fun naughtiness that you get with Regency. Good old fashioned bodice ripper that we've all read.
Yes.
Just to rip those bodices and lift the skirts. Let's be honest. That's
Right.
even better than the bodice rip,
Every time I read a scene like that, I'm like, gosh, I have to take a moment and process how that would all go and like have to put yourself back together again real quick, right? Because
Well,
it's just
A
that
lot of
era.
skirting. That's so much
Yeah.
skirt.
So much fluff, right? I'm just like,
How do you get
where's
to
her
it?
face? Like, can you breathe?
It's suffocating.
you just imagine it all over their face.
Yes, like the visual, it's so strong.
Like, I couldn't imagine, nowadays people are like car sex. And I'm like, could you imagine carriage sex? There's no
I know,
such
right?
thing. There's too much.
Big bumps, there's
Yeah,
no shock absorbers.
you have to get with the cadence. It's just a lot.
And I mean, by
And
the
God
time
bless
he
him.
got his way under all of the
All
layers,
of it.
they would
Yeah.
be where they were supposed to be. There's no foreplay. Like, there's no,
No, and then or the strange knock on the door or something happens. You're like, oh my gosh, they got so far. Now they have to stop. Like, He worked so hard at it.
Yeah.
Earned that, damn it.
I love it. I love it though, because it is. It's all part of that slow burn, right? Because you're like, God.
Yeah, because it's just not even just one layer. It's layers and layers. But I think that's why their underwear didn't, they didn't wear underwear,
Also fair.
you know? And then, of course, the men's fly was just like little buttons and just pop it open.
Right?
Makes with clothes very easy. A lot less so when no clothes.
I feel
The
like
spring
men
was
have
much
it
easier.
easy in the
Yeah.
clothing department. Let's just be very clear.
Yes. Across
Like,
yeah.
first off, men look good in gray sweatpants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They look
Thank God for that
immaculate
season.
in a tailored suit or a tuxedo, right? Like, there
Yes.
are some men who look delicious in jeans and a t-shirt and a
Yeah.
backward baseball cap, right? Like, and
But it
then
has to be backwards because, like,
Yeah.
what is with the side? Like, no.
no.
I feel like that's like a 12-year-old or
And I feel like
13-year-old.
if
I
they
don't
wear
like
it up
it.
front, I'm old. You still have to like bend it. I don't like the wide.
We don't
Just
like the
right?
No,
don't fold it. Like, don't crease
they
your
have
tennis
to
shoes.
fold
The
it.
hat's the same way. Yeah.
They have to fold it. Like they have to do what they did back in like the 90s and early 2000s. Like I'm old.
Right.
That curl, the curl where there's
Yes. If it's not there, like it looks like a duck bill. I don't understand. That's not attractive. It's not attractive. But like they don't have to try as hard, right? I feel like as a girl or a woman, I'll never use the term lady when it's associated with myself because I am far from. But I feel like we have to try so much harder. Like we got to pull out the Spanx. We have to like find the right
Yeah.
dress. We have to put the makeup on. We have to do our hair just right. If we color
Right
it, then we have to
bra.
keep it
Yeah.
colored. We have to like because otherwise,
Yeah.
if I showed up on a date in my hoodie and my gym shorts looking like a bridge troll, I would be all over the Instagram about this horrible first date they had because God forbid, like, nobody cares about natural beauty anymore. It's not about what's inside. We're just such a shallow people anymore. And I'm saying that as a shallow person who is completely judging gorgeous men on motorcycles that I would love to be their backpack. I have no problem with that.
Fair. That's fair.
I
Oh,
just saying. I just feel like we have to try so hard. If you look at that, you're like, the men just had little buttons, and here the women are with like broken ribs because we had to like pull our corset so tight because God
so
forbid you
tight.
had a little flab, and then 500 skirts underneath you, and then like
That's why I don't do the because then I'd have to have the gigot sleeves, the giant. Ugh.
Yeah.
or the wigs. Didn't they used to do like the
And then
big
you'd have to
puffy
think
wigs
through
at
that.
one time? And
That's why I picked the
Yeah.
1800s, like 1820s. Nice.
Yeah.
Thin, slim lines, not as many. I don't get in the Victorian where they had the 10 different pant skirts and petticoats.
Right?
yeah.
You're just like,
Yeah.
how hot was all of that?
I feel like I would have been a ball of sweat
I also feel like I'm just not that
that whole
proper. I
time.
feel like the Lord knew what he was doing when he brought me into like the trash panda era because I am not a debutante and I shall never be.
But it's fun to read about them.
It is. It
Yeah.
is very fun to read about them.
Yeah.
I would like to be a lovely princess someday. And I love reading about those who can be that elegant and that graceful and not trip over air when they walk across the room.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. But yeah, so very excited about that. The next I've already started on the second and third and the series too. So the second one is going to be called Forgetting Francine, which gives us a Duke because we have to have a Duke in Regency. And
I
then
like
the
it.
third one is going to be the Christmas because you have to have a Christmas novel.
You have to have a Christmas
You have
novel.
to have a Christmas novel.
Yeah.
and
Are you
maybe fake
reading
fiance.
anything Christmassy this season?
Am I doing what? Anything?
Are you gonna read anything Christmassy this season?
I haven't yet. I'm sure I'll stumble onto something. I have a friend who just came out with a new book. He writes for all the holidays.
Okay.
I might just go support him and read that. It'll be extra naughty, I'm sure. Santa and a new cake or something is gonna come.
I
It's
love
right
it.
up our alley.
That's awesome. Are you currently reading anything as you're writing?
Yes, I should have looked up the name before. I have my Kindle
It's
right
okay.
here. But Vivian Lorette, she writes Regency. And whenever I'm writing Regency, I like to read it so I kind of get
Yeah,
this. This Much is True
just true.
is the name
Very
of
nice.
it. And it's the Liars Club series. It's really fun. It's three sisters, it's all their stories, and they all ended up with a lie that ended up getting them into the situations they are to find their age.
Like it. Do you always stick with historical fiction or do you jump around genres? Do you have a favorite genre you go to that's your comfort zone? Do you?
It kind of depends on what I'm doing. I think I read Regency romance the most. It's candy to me. It's never anything that I'm going to have to like really concentrate on,
Right.
but it's always kind of just my go-to for fun, light reading. I do love a good mystery. So every now and then I'll pick that up, or I keep trying to read Lord of the Rings and I get bored halfway through. Like, okay, yeah, I get it. How do you say this name? I don't know. I'm done.
So what does it take you to DNF a book?
DNF a book? Okay, so I started this series and I was just reading this series, and I'm one of those people, like, I will stick with a series, and if I find a new author, I will read their entire catalog. So if they've got
I like
500
it.
books, I'm reading all 500
All
books.
of them.
Yeah. And so I was reading this series, and it was set it was set in like the Battle of Hastings era, so like 1000s. And it's kind of like, oh, this would be interesting. You don't read many books then. And there had a lot of compelling characters. I was like, this is pretty good. But she kept using the word simply.
Oh,
And I think I counted on one page 15
on a
simplies.
page?
On a page. Not even like a
Yeah.
chapter.
I feel like that's where you need those beta readers, right?
Right?
Yeah, that's a lot. Yes.
And so the simply couldn't finish it. And now I see the word simply and I have a visceral reaction. I was like,
It's a trigger. It's a trigger. It's okay.
yeah, those are my trigger warnings. How many times do you use that word?
Yes.
We're
Yeah,
going to add that
exactly.
to the list.
Oh my God.
Dark
DNC,
romance.
DNC, and Simply. I like it.
Yeah.
Are there any, as you talk about, triggers and things, are there things that you do try to avoid when you read? Are there things that you're like, no way, this is, off the table?
Anything with children.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I read J.K. Rowling. Was she Robert Galbraith? And it was the casual vacancy. And I was like, I was enjoying the read at the beginning. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, bitch, you did not. I was just like, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spoilers. Don't read it. Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
She kills the
Please.
kid. Don't
Oh
read
my
it.
God. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
don't do it.
Don't do it.
I won't do it if they kill the dog either.
Ooh.
If you kill the pet, you're done with me. I can't. I think in one of the Nicholas Sparks books I read, they shot the dog, and I was like, I'm done. I'll never
You're
read
done
from
with it.
Nicholas Sparks again. You're dead.
Susan's Diary for Nicholas turned me off of everything Nicholas Sparks. So
I didn't read that one.
Was that him or was that James Patterson? Which one was that?
that was Sparks.
That was Sparks.
Mm-hmm.
Because Patterson has a diary one too.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. Because he has
Yeah.
a couple little romance ones. James
Mhm.
Patterson does. But
And that one also kills a child. So it's a double whammy. So
yeah.
in the
I
trash.
also quit reading Nicholas Sparks about the time that he was selling the rights to his books for movies before they were even written.
Mm.
Because I felt that the story then just kept being the same, right?
Right.
Different place, different
Yeah.
characters, but the whole story premise was the same. Boy meets
A
girl,
cookie
girl
cutter.
meets boy, boy doesn't think he's good enough, girl doesn't think she's good enough, dad says, no, you can't, something anticlimactic happens, like,
Right. Yeah.
and then whether they have a happily ever after in the book or not, they have a happily ever after in the movie, right? Like, it's just the whole, like, and I was just like, I don't want to read the same story over and over and over again. Like, it just gets dry after a while. So I just kind of quit. Like, he kind of lost his luster after, because
Yeah.
I think it just got to the point it felt like he was trying to write to sell the rights more than he was writing for the love of the writing anymore.
I
Or
get that
telling
with
the story. Yeah.
And that makes me concerned for, like, they sold, like, Quicksilver already. They
To Netflix.
sold Wings of Fire, or not Wings of Fire, Fourth Wing. They
Fourth Wing.
sold
Yeah.
Fourth
Yeah. Yeah.
Wing, and they sold Lucy Score just sold one of hers, which she's one of, like, my favorite little indie authors that self-publishes, but, like, that concerns me because, like, once you start selling to the bigger, like, and I'm not including passion flicks. I like passion flicks, and I think they do a great job, like, putting out book movies because Tosca really does follow the dialogue within the book. She just did the Black Dagger Brotherhood, and she really does follow, like, does not make changes, follows the book. Like, one of the very few times I haven't watched it and gone, that didn't happen, right? Like, so, like, 4 is following, like, what happens within a book. Like, I do think she does a good job there, but
Yeah.
I do believe I saw that Lucy Score just sold the rights to one of her books for maybe Amazon or someone, like, I don't remember who, but, like, that always just concerns me because once that starts, like, I feel like it just kinda changes the narrative of how their writing starts to go, and not that I don't want that success for people. Please hear me say, like, I want people to be that successful. I want everybody, for the non-readers, to be able to enjoy the wonderful stories that are out there. And if the only way they're going to enjoy them is, like, on the big screen, like, kudos to you. I just hope that in the process, you don't lose the love of writing the story as you
Mhm.
go.
Yeah.
You don't want to be a J, what was it, Martin with, yeah.
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 Because I mean, I think that's just so, and I mean, I don't want to put myself in that position, right? Like, I'm not an author. I don't want to put myself in the position of an author. I don't think I could be an author, so I don't want to sit here and say that I would or wouldn't fall under that type of pressure, right? Because I'm
Mhm.
sure once it starts, there's pressure of they want more, right? Like, it makes so much money, it gets so much publicity. They're like, we need more, we need more, we need more. Oh, you're writing this, we need that, right? And then it's like, well,
Mhm.
crap, like, how fast can I get it out? Like, I can't imagine what that pressure would be like. So I don't want it to sound like I'm passing judgment. I felt, at least for, like, Nicholas Sparks, there was a huge switch in the voice of his work
Mhm.
once he started selling the rights to all of his books.
A high demand. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll just have to see how all that moves on.
I like that problem.
Right?
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 You're
We're like, yes, please, me.
Yeah. I I got to see Julia Quinn, and she talked about, like, how they discovered her Shonda Rhimes discovered her books
yeah.
and started with the Netflix and everything, and someone was like, "Well, how do you feel about the adaptations and the changes that they make?"
Yeah.
And she goes, I just cry all the way to the bank."
Right?
I mean, that's a fair point too. And
Right?
then I think too, you have to, as an author, there are probably people out there that if they did come to you, right, with your own, because of the things that you love to watch and who has produced those that you mentioned, Bridgerton, like if they came to you and were like, I love your books, what can we do to make this happen? I'm sure you would be like, this is even more crazier than I thought it would be, right? Like
Mhm.
someone whom you respect who produces, you know, these shows anyway. So I think that that would probably have to come into it too, right? The logistics of like, who's asking me to produce and, you know, write screenplays for my books? I mean,
Mhm.
that must be an exciting part. I mean, have you ever thought about, you know, I don't know, as you're daydreaming, I'm assuming you daydream. I daydream all the time. But
Totally.
yeah, so like do you ever sit there and think like as you're writing or as your book gets published, you're like, this would be a good screenplay. I could totally dive into the world of writing this into that. Like, I don't know.
I actually attended, a class on screenplay writing. I have a friend who's really into she dreams of actually creating a screenplay for her books, and I started like, "Wouldn't that be cool to do this?" You know? And I have a friend who's always like, "It's cinematic, your books are so cinematic, and I can see this on the big screen," and I'm like, "Keep filling my head." I'll take it, but yeah, I mean, I would never say no.
Right,
And
right.
that's fair. I mean, I think 100% that that's a fair, like, assessment. And again, not in your position, not in your, and I've also heard from people about, do you wanna give up that intellectual property? Do you wanna, like, what are they asking for in that process, right? And I'm sure every contract looks different, and I'm sure every demand is different, and it sounded like, at least with, like, Passion Fit Flicks, J.R. Ward had a lot of say and a lot of,
Mhm,
um, autonomy in how the Black Dagger Brotherhood was produced, right? Like, she was there through the casting. She looked at the script that was made. She was, she got to see a lot of the edits that were made. She got to see the pilot before anybody else did, like, so she
mhm,
did have a lot to do with like developing what was in her head before other people got to
Yeah,
see it, right? So they took a lot of what was in her head to make her dream a reality, right? Like, as she got to help with the casting, because where, she's so descriptive in her books for her characters, they took her to then help find those people to be like, no, 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 he's the perfect one, right?
yeah,
Like,
mhm,
because what I see is probably not who Steph sees when she reads it, right? Who probably isn't who you've envisioned when
mhm,
you read it, right? We were next to somebody at Lit and Libations who said, like, when she writes, she pictures this one specific actor who I can't think of, but he's like the lead in Hawaii Five-O, and he was the lead vampire in the show Moonlight. And I can picture his face, but I can't think of his name right now. Australian actor, very handsome, very attractive. But that's who she pictures. But had she not told me that, like, reading her books, that is not the face that, like, I would come up with, right? Like,
mhm,
for her MMC. And so looking at that again, so knowing, should her books be picked up for adaptation, like, that's the look she would go for, is something similar to this very attractive male, right?
mhm,
Very similar features, very similar this, right? Whereas the producer reading it might go for, God forbid, the blonde guy, right? Because if you've noticed, have you noticed very few MMCs are blondes? Very few.
I'm terrible, I never write male blondes.
no, you
Nope,
don't. That's interesting. That's such a good point.
Very few that people are in love with. Like, if you go through
Yeah,
and you look at, like, all the social media threads of, like, these MMCs that people are, like, so in love with, like, mainstream, the whole whatever, maybe, maybe 2% of them are blonde-haired. The rest
yeah,
of them are all dark, broody, and morally gray.
yeah. That's
all
fair.
dark.
It is
Yeah,
all dark. Like,
love it.
I sent the girls in our group chat the other day a video of Charlie Hunnam that said it's the only blonde MMC that I'll ever like bow to or whatever, right? But like, then I said, I think that's right. And I was like going through my head of all the books I've read, and there is not like one that I can think of that there has been a blonde MMC that I'm like, has there been one? But like,
That's too funny.
but there's a blonde mailman character that I'm like, is there?
Well, and it's my third book that I'm writing in Bells and Rogues. They are brother, sister, and they're both blondes. So I will have a blonde. I just haven't written it yet. But yeah.
I need you to back up for a second. The love interests are brother and sister?
No, oh no.
Okay. I almost like spit out my vodka cranberry because you were like, they're brother and sister. And I was like, hold on.
Hey, I don't write those
It's
kind of
like a
books.
whole new
my
trigger
God.
warning.
No. Okay, so all the female characters in this series are Bells. And they're all like friends. So that's what I was thinking of is like there's another character, her brother is playing a love interest to another. Goodness.
Different character.
Okay.
That's great.
Let me clarify.
Yeah, to clarify.
Please
mean-
do.
There are no
Please do.
brother and sister relation. No.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that because I almost like spit out my drink. And that would have been a waste of good vodka. So yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Okay. We're back to it now. Go on with your story.
I lost. I just
Lost train of thought. It's okay. It happens.
It happens to the best of us. It's been a long week.
right.
Goodness.
What? Okay. So last week when Steph and I talked, we talked about this book that she almost DNF'd and she couldn't stand it. And this week, because I was home, I dived into the Plated Prisoner series, and I'm not sure if I can finish it because I can't stand Arin because I think she is a whiny, weak, no good FMC. And I'm sure that people are ready to fight me over that. So
She just got through the third book. So there's 6 in the series. So there's a very long character development in this whole series.
the first 3 books could have been 1 book. So what are your thoughts on like weak and whiny FMCs? Do you think that's like a damsel in distress? Do you think that's realistic? Do you think that
How would you describe yours? Yeah,
or do
for
you
sure.
think that that is like annoying and they need to just be put out to pasture? Because like
Yeah. No, I cannot do a whiny female character.
God.
Like, give me some strength. It was kind of fun when I wrote my first novel, Bathed in Moonlight. When I first started, I kind of imagined her being really quiet and meek.
Mhm.
And I realized as the series went on, like how much stronger she really is and how she truly is this survivor.
Mhm.
And I was like, wow, I unintentionally did this. This was really good. And so it's just, I might write a character where you're going to go, oh, okay, she's going to do this because that's what's typical in romance is she's going to be weak-minded and do this silly thing. And I like to flip that. And I had a friend who just she read Bells and Rogues. She read Stealing Annabelle. And she's like, oh, I knew she was going to do this. And then you didn't have her do that at the end. I don't want to spoil. And she's like, I like how you didn't have her go and immediately do something that would have been weak-willed. So, yeah, no, if the character isn't strong but at the same time, also, I don't want her unnaturally capable. I don't want her to be able to just come in and kill all the bad guys or what have you.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. The development of her, like the process and like the coming to. And I think that that's really important because I think that's something that we can all relate to. I would hope, right? Like where you could identify yourself and like, I don't know. At least that's what I read to do.
I think an FMC needs a good backbone. I think she needs to be able to look at the mafia boss or the duke or the stalker with the mask and tell him to be
Yeah.
able to go fuck himself. Like,
Exactly.
it might get her backhanded in the end, right? Like, it might, like, consequences be damned, right? But I want
Mhm.
her to have a backbone. I cannot stand reading these girls that, like, are on the inside of their head going, I will not, I cannot. And then they, like, talk to her and they look at her and they, like, slide their little knuckles down her cheek. And then she, like, is putty and she's like, it's fine. It's okay because you love me. No, the fuck he doesn't.
Right? I'm sorry. I realize my phone's about to die, so I need to grab a
You're fine.
cord.
Oh, no, you're good. You're totally good.
Sorry.
You're fine. But yeah, and I think that's where I get so, so frustrated, right? Is that whole, like, please value yourself more than that. And maybe because for so long I was that girl, right? That was like, no, 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 this is okay because he loves me. Like,
Yeah.
this is okay because, I know that, like, really deep down he loves me. It's okay that he
Right.
doesn't, like, introduce me to his family and friends because, I know that he loves me. He's not embarrassed by me. No, fuck that. I'm fucking great, damn it. Like,
Exactly.
and so is the
But I
FM.
think that reflects your own personal growth. Like, and I think that when you get irritated with characters, that's because you want to see them, right? Like that one book that I was talking about, and I don't want to butcher the title because it's not in my sight. But she never developed. You get to the end of the book and you're like, you just started the pattern over again. Like there was no development of this female main character. And I think that that's
That's
just so
right.
disheartening because, you know, I feel like that's essential to life. So we can get to the point where we can say, fuck off, right? Like
Until the world falls down.
until the world falls down. Yeah. It was just, she never did. She never was able to say, I'm done with this, you know, I'm done with it, right? Like, and then the male main character never developed either. So then you're left going, what? And then there's supposed to be a second book. But I think that those developments are really important. So in both characters, regardless of, you know,
Oh, yeah.
uh, yeah. So
No, absolutely. I 100% agree. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
especially if you're going to write a 6-book series, like you want to see this is how we started and this is the badass bitch we ended up with, right? Like, but I also, yeah,
Right.
I don't know. And maybe, and, I don't know, your TMI for the day. Maybe because I was in an abusive marriage. Maybe because I've been that meek girl, right? Like, I don't know. It just drives me nuts when people just stand there and take it, right? Like, no one has to stand there and take it. Like,
yeah,
Right.
it's just so wrong. Like, kick him in the balls, walk away. Like, that cannot be your only option. And if it is your only option, like, I promise you, being single is okay.
Right.
Like,
I feel like with historical romances that's something that even going back to the 1800s, like when women were just trying to even just be able to read and write and then get to write a book. Like, I don't know. I feel like that those are all really big, important.
but then thinking about your historical romances or I read a lot of mafia romances. I don't know
Mhm.
why. Maybe one day I'll be a mafia wife. I feel like I have the backbone for it. It's fine. But there's a lot of arranged marriages in that, right? And
Mhm.
so that takes away that choice because a lot of that's what they want, right? Like they want that perfect, like, Stepford wife that's just gonna put on the dress, put on the smile, serve the drinks, be your trophy, and then,
And
like,
have no brain.
yeah, no
Yeah.
brain, keep your mouth shut, stand there and look pretty. Like, that will one never be any of us in this room, right? Like, we all have the brains and we all have the mouth. Back it up, right?
Enough to get me in trouble, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
all the
Every day.
time. All the
Every
time.
day. Yes.
All the
Every
time.
fucking day. And I'm here for it. I like it. I will gladly get myself in trouble every day for it. But then I also like that's just part of the chaos, right? Like I feel like if you can find that MMC that can hold on to that chaos and that's what they find endearing, right? Like it's not that they want to change it. It's not that they want to cage it. It's not that they want to trap it. They just want to go along for the ride and be able to
Yeah.
be by your side and be like, that's mine. That crazy bitch over there, that one running her mouth, glaring at me when no one else in the world would dare. Yep, that one. Yeah, she's mine. Like that.
I love that though, that mismatched where you don't think that they should be together. I love that.
Yeah.
I feel like opposites should attract, right? I'm a big person who believes in balance.
Mhm.
Like when you think of, I guess the best way to say it is I'm more of like a kitchen witch, right? Like I like to make like fire tonic and I use a lot of my essential oils and I use, like a lot of my crystals and things like that. But it's more about the balance for me, right? I think there needs to be a balance of good and bad and this and that. I think when you have opposites, I think that that's where that balance is, right? When you get two people who are exactly alike, there's no balance. Like things are just swaying to like one side. I think you kind of need that push and pull to make things kind of
Mesh.
teeter in a way. Yeah.
What you lack, they have, and vice
Right.
versa.
And I
And
think that you push each other, right? Like in the best ways.
and I think that also can drive a really interesting arc because,
Mhm.
maybe that is your weakness and and the other character has that strength. And then what you see is them learning that and then overcoming and
Right.
ultimately doing something out of turn because of the person.
Yeah. And it's okay if it's just for that person, right?
Mhm.
Like, so you're not like super emotional. So you shut all your emotions off for the world for whatever reason. But it's okay to be vulnerable for that one person, right?
Mhm.
Like for your one person that's your opposite, that's your safe space, that's your home base, right? Like, and I think that's what's beautiful about it to me is like that somebody can be what no one else sees just for that one person, right? Like they're so composed, like whether it's that they're the duke and they have all the orders and they're so composed and there's all these rules and there's this and there's that, but they have this like chaotic little princess who's never wanted to, be a princess, right? So they're rebelling against everything and she thinks he just wants to tame her and he doesn't want to tame her. He just wants her by his side, right? Because he loves her spirit. He loves the fight she has. And like she only he only shows that spark in him to her, right? Like that's what makes it special, right?
Mhm.
Because it's not special if everybody gets to see it,
Right. It's
right?
how they have that key that unlocks this side that nobody else can ever see.
Yeah, it's not special when the guy like is charismatic to everybody. It's not, like it's
Mhm.
not special they when they're always like caring and doting to everyone or, this, that, and the other. And maybe that's why I like dark romance so much, right? Or those morally gray or morally black men who seem to give like zero fucks about like absolutely everything. But then there's this like one little ray of sunshine that comes into their life that's like their light that suddenly they would burn the whole fucking world down for, right?
Mhm.
Like, and they're just like, that's their changing point. And they're not any different. Like, they still murder people. They're still leaving like hands on your pillow because somebody touched you. Like, they're not a different person. But for whatever reason, for you,
Yeah. They're
they're
different.
trying to be better for you, right? They want you to see the humanity in them. They don't care if anyone else sees it, but they care what you think.
When you get that squishy underbelly.
Yeah.
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 And I think that's so important. And I think that that's sometimes lost, right?
Yeah.
So,
What would you say your characters are in your book? Like, how, like the love interest. If you could describe just 3 words without giving it away.
3 words. That's hard. The interests are all flawed. And how do I'm trying to think of how to put this in one word, but
You know more than 3.
probably arrogant, you know,
Yeah,
because yeah, arrogant, flawed, but soft spot, like soft spot.
do you think
Okay.
arrogance comes with the time period?
Absolutely.
Like, I feel like just that time period, just anything you watch, you read, you delve into, like,
yeah,
arrogance just seems to be like a running theme, right?
Right. And because I write World War II, you know, they're the man in charge, but I also
yeah,
write Regency, and you've have your lords and and they had to be. I mean, like they're the ones ruling the country. They're doing all of that.
right.
They have people they have to take care of. So yeah, they
Like a
had,
survival tactic, right? That arrogance is, yeah,
but there's this one little tiny soft spot that each of them have, and it's how that heroine gets in there
Yeah. I think
because
that's
yeah,
the
finds it.
magic piece of writing,
She
though,
finds it. Yeah,
is
Mhm.
how that heroine, like that FMC, just finds her way into those soft spots.
And that's when you the perfect spot for reader because then they're like,
I know.
Oh, okay. So when you write your spicy scenes, inquiring minds want to know, mainly me. Um, how do you feel when you sit down and write them? Is it fun to write them? Is it awkward to write them? Does it get you a little hot and bothered when you write them? Are you just like when you write? Like, what is it like to sit down and put yourself into the position to sit down and just write out this whole like intimate piece between two people, right? That are
well, I'll tell you this, I typically don't write them when I'm in a public place.
that's fair.
Someone reading, like, over my shoulder, "What?" They're kind of my favorite to write, to be honest. I love it because they're you get so to where they're not they're completely exposed to one another, and it gets them to that most raw self, and I have so much fun writing them. And do I get hot and bothered? Maybe, but it's good, you know, and do I also sit there and go, "I've always wanted to try this," and then now it's a love scene of me imagining, "Ooh, I wonder what that would be like." All those skirts inside this moving carriage.
Right? Right?
I'm like, you said that with the rhythm, I'm like, I have to make that a scene
Absolutely.
for this.
We are glad to be your muse tonight. Um, get your
Am I
little
gonna
literary notebook and write that down.
oh, yeah, it's gonna happen. They're gonna be and what is the cadence?
Yes, exactly.
Do you listen to a playlist? Like, we'll make a
Full
playlist for
gallop,
you so it has
soft
that
strut.
cadence of it.
Where are we? Yeah.
You know what? I feel like we just need to find a weekend. It's Christmas time, so there's carriages everywhere, and we just need to go to a carriage and like hang out with a glass of wine, and
Yeah.
Steph can have her non-alcoholic beverage, and we can just sit and we can find the right song that matches the cadence of the carriage on the
Yeah.
street that we're in, so that you can write to that
Yes.
beat, so you know what beat
Yes.
we're going to.
Riding around the plaza.
Yeah. In those lighted
Um,
carriages.
I need you to
Absolutely.
speed
Absolutely. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I would even put on a bunch of skirts just so we know. We can time it. How long does it take? So, just for historical accuracy, it's fine. Everything's fine.
It's
research
great.
purposes.
It
That's
is.
right.
We're all
That's
about
right.
accuracy here at Slowburn.
It's important.
So important. Because inquiring minds and chefs will ask the questions. So, we have to
Yes,
make
they
sure
will.
we have it correct.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So, do you have like an unhinged reader habit? Is there something that you do as a reader, not as a writer?
I don't think so, but maybe I'm missing something that I probably do that's really unhinged.
Like Steph dog ears her books like half up the page, and I'm gonna just throttle
Book
her
I
one
have
day.
Look at these cute highlighters. Aren't they fun?
Those are adorable.
Aren't they wonderful? Yeah. And my pencil, so I can mark all over my book. I do. I annotate. Look, I'm ready for my.
I don't annotate. I do currently have 3 books going, though. I will say I have 1 audiobook and 2 ebooks going.
Okay, well, I have to admit, all right, yes. Steph and I are in the same corner. I dog ear my books. I will have them spine open to where it is if I need to.
Yes.
I don't have bookmarks. I just random pieces of
I
paper.
don't either.
That's
Yes,
okay. I'll
same.
use bobby pins, I'll use air ties. Whatever I find, I'll shove in, but I don't dog ear my books.
Yeah, I dog ear my I will if there's something important, I'll highlight it or
Yeah.
Steph doesn't just dog ear it. She will take like the corner of the page and fold it all the way up to where she stopped reading.
just the corner for me. Can't do the whole. I got it just the corner.
She has 0 respect for her books
Yeah.
whatsoever.
You know what?
Yeah.
As a writer, it means it's loved, and I'm okay with that.
It is love.
It is love.
I also have a really hard time with people who use books for art.
Okay, so when I met Julia Quinn, right? I am in line with all these women, and they have these beautiful sprayed edges editions of her books. And I found her, it was during COVID, and I went to Half Price Books, and the little mass market books is what I bought. And the rest of them, it was COVID. I couldn't afford to buy books. So I was getting them from the library and I was downloading on my Kindle. So I only had 2 books. And, they're the mass market. So you know how they get the middle part just gets so ripped up and everything
Yeah.
like this. And I mean, and I've read them multiple times and they're just these sad, pathetic looking books. And they're just these little tiny ones too. And I'm here with these women who have spent $50, $60 on these really gorgeous covered books. And I'm kind of all embarrassed. So I go and I hand it to her and she's like, "Oh, these are so well loved." And I was like, she recognized me as a reader
Yes.
with her autograph and these cheap, happy mess that I bought at Half Price Books. I did take the cover off. I didn't want her to know I bought them at Half Price Books. Excuse me, got the sticker off, but
I'm sure she would
A
have found that endearing
love-hate
too.
relationship with sprayed edges. I think we've talked about it on here before. Only
Yeah.
because I can't put my books backward on the shelf. Like, it's
Yeah.
just so then, like, you buy these beautiful edges, and then I can't ever look at them. So then, like, it makes me really sad. Like, I think they're gorgeous, and I think they're beautiful, and I appreciate the art that goes into them, but, like, on my shelf, I can't place them backward on my shelf to look at them.
I'll still defile them, right? Like, regardless.
Steph will still ruin her book, but that's also fine. People annotate their books, and that's okay. I'm not hating on people who annotate their books. I also just have the memory of an elephant. So, like, I don't forget a lot. So I don't necessarily need to annotate my books. Like, I could tell you everything that has happened in the last 23 chapters in the book I just read, probably
Wow.
verbatim. So, like,
I love going back and just rereading that passage sometimes, whatever, like, made my heartstrings strum, right? Like, I just sometimes I just need that. It's just as much as I don't know, just as much as, like, I need to go work out on really shitty days. Like, sometimes I just need to go back and reread a couple lines from that book just to be
but
like,
like
"Okay."
you're reading these like lovey-dovey lines. The lines that I remember and love are, "If he touches you again, I'm going to kill him and fuck you in his blood so that you remember that you are mine." Like, those are the things that I
I mean,
read.
but that could still do it. Like, I mean,
But
I
I
don't
also
read
remember that quote verbatim, so I didn't need to highlight it.
that quote was not from one of my books.
No, it
right.
wasn't.
No.
I believe it was from The Wallflower, actually. But,
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I enjoy people who annotate their books. I love people who can give quotes because quotes are what pull me in to read a book. Like the quotes that I see on Facebook and Instagram, that's what typically gets like bumped up above the rest of my TBR. I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I'm going to read that. Like, what's that? Like, that's why I'm reading the Mafia romance I'm reading now instead of the Christmas book I was reading because I saw like the quote on Facebook or Instagram and I was like, oh, that looks cute. Let's just bypass everything else. Like, started Brimstone and I started this Christmas one and I'm like, nope, we're going to take a break. I need some Mafia love. So we did that. So, I mean, like, but that's how I get a lot of my TBR is like those quotes that people put out there and like share or those scenes, right? Those scenes and they leave you at like that. And then he walked up to her and then it stops. And I'm like, and then he did what? What did he do?
What chapter is that in?
Yeah.
Please don't let it be chapter 48.
Always put it at chapter 48.
Right? Right? And so, I mean, that's how I get drawn in
Agreed.
as a reader. Like, I'm going in and I'm reading these like great little scenes and these little like reels and stuff on social media. And like, it just catches me and it draws me in. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm going to read that. Like, I need to know what happens. This bitch just got forced to marry this like mafia Don. And like, his second in command is like, dude, you've wanted her since the first time you saw her before she was handed to you on a silver platter. And this bitch is like, touch me and die, motherfucker. So like, I'm like, this is great. Like, how is this going to work? Like,
Oh my God.
I love this. She's making him work harder for this than he's had to work for anything in his life. She still hasn't slept with him yet. And we're on like chapter 30.
No. They got to sleep with each other sooner than that.
I am not a slow burn girl. I need like, we need to go
She
much
likes it up
sooner.
front, real quick.
Yeah, give it to me in like chapter 2 or 3. I'm good.
Yeah.
But
I
the
love the
banter
cat
in
and
this
mouse.
is fun. The sexual tension in this is fun. Like their old like mafia traditions for the Italian mafia or whatever are
Yeah.
that he has to take a virgin even though he's a whore. And so she didn't want
like
him to
that's,
touch
like,
her. So
most
when he
men.
kissed her, she bit his lip and sucked his blood and then spit it all over the sheets and said, there you go, there's your proof. And then walked away.
Damn. No, I kind of
That's
like her.
awesome. Yeah,
Like, I like your spunk.
I do. That's good.
Respect.
Right? And like
Yeah.
he just kind of was like, damn, I don't even know what to do with that. No, you don't, sir.
Totally got
And then
him
he just
hot
like
and
rolled up
bothered.
the sheet and walked out. What do you do? What do you do? Because she's like, the only way you're
Challenged
getting
him.
it is if you rape me at this point. So, and he was like, well,
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. She goes, then deuces.
That's great.
And I think I just like that power play. I like at some points when the FMC has the power, right? Because so many times we give the MMC all the power.
I don't know. I haven't really read too many books, but that's just my choice. That the MC has any power or wants
a
to
lot
give
of
the
bully
power
romances.
all over to the girl.
Read a lot of bully romances.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had kind of a problem lately because when a lot of the ones I've been reading, I feel like they're so formulaic that it's just, okay, I know what's going to happen next. And
Right.
I might need to pick up a mafia one or two because that might, she's spitting blood out on the sheets. It's definitely different.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Right?
Try
Right?
it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah,
Doesn't
she
fall
also
into-
like thought she was pushing his buttons and she's like, he's not going to let me out of this house in this dress. And so he's like, two can play at this game. So he texted the restaurant and said, close it down and get everybody out. And then he took her out of the house. And she was like, I didn't think you'd let me leave. And then they got there and the restaurant was empty. And he's like, why is it empty? He goes, because I wasn't going to let anybody see what's mine. She was like, fuck. Two can play at this game. I like it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is a fun little game back and forth when they both play, right?
I
Yeah.
love that kind of tension like that where they're both
I love tension.
Oh God, tensions.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like they were in
Yeah, the
bed
build up.
because she
It's
got
part
hurt.
of foreplay, right? Like tension's part of foreplay. Like
Yeah.
that
And
back
like
and
he's
forth.
kissing down her back and like down her like spine, and it's getting real whatever, and then all of a sudden she's like, oh fuck, I'm not supposed to want this, and like elbows him in his ribs and gets up and runs to the bathroom and locks the door. That's right, she said no
Perfect.
just so she could. Like, I mean, I think that's the
Yeah.
whole thing. Like, she just wants to keep the control, right? It's not that she doesn't want him.
Yeah.
And they're playing the whole age gap thing, but like he's only 8 years older than her. I don't find that to be like a huge age gap, except for the fact that she's only like 20 and he's 28, or she's 19 and he's 27 or something. I don't know. But which that age gap is kind of, if she was in her 20s and he was in his 30s, I think it would be better. Just at like 19, they make her sound really immature. But like, I don't know.
Yeah, I have a hard time with writing because that's with Regency. They would have been 18, 17, 18. And
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like modern sensibilities. I try to kind of gloss over that a lot when I'm writing. I'm always worried it's going to be squick.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, I think that's what got me about The Plated Prisoner too, right? Is when Midas met her, she was 15, because that's
Mm-hmm.
what was considered
And
an
groomed
adult.
her. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. And like, I was like, ew, just ew. Like, I don't care how you paint this for like the time, the whatevers, the like where they are, the realms, the this, the that. The 15 is ew. Like,
Yeah.
a sex trader sold her body at 15, and that's disgusting. Like,
Yes. Yeah. And so as a result, my youngest characters are 20, even though that might not be historically the most accurate. I just can't write younger than 20.
It's a hard concept, right? I mean, but it's reality. I mean,
Mhm.
it's our modern day reality. Look at Megan. What was her name? Her name currently. She's still alive. Megan Kelly. Is that the? Did anybody see that in her? Or what would you call it? She's a reporter. She just kind of went off
Mhm.
about how 15 is barely legal, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that. I mean, it's. I. I feel like. I mean, books are political, and I feel like the more we bring awareness and ick to light, it fights people who currently feel like that's okay. Right.
I guess the question
Right?
is, how many people catch it and find the ick, though? And how many people didn't even notice it? That's the part that concerns me.
I don't
How
know,
many
but if you
people,
read the trigger warnings in any book, then I feel like you would identify it, right?
I mean, I feel like the trigger warnings are a shopping list for me. But like, also, though, people who don't, right? Like, so many people just pick up books and don't read the trigger warnings. I typically don't, because most triggers don't typically bother me. And if I get bothered, it's my own fault for not reading them, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like that about readers, right?
but I guess my concern is it's not that it bothered somebody. I guess my concern is who reads that and doesn't get bothered by it, right? Like, who reads that and gets through the whole series, but what they don't catch and what they don't pick up on is that she was sold as a whore at the age of 15, right? Like,
Well, yeah. Well, and as you read any, I think that series in particular, like they come back to it multiple times. And like, well, I don't want to give anything away, but like it becomes almost a vengeful thing, which I think is important too, which is why I think that's a series that you should finish, because you get to come full circle in someone's journey and their own trauma and trauma resolve. And I think that that's, I don't know, but that's why I think, books are important, because it does bring light to all types of things. I mean, even in the historical romances, like you're going back to time periods where most of us don't want to end up back in, even though I think there are certain moments that we definitely would just enjoy being in, right? Like the setups and certain scenes, but truly like to be in that oppressive society where you are betrothed to somebody because of you have to get out of your class, right? Or to get up in a class level, like, and not be happy, where you would much rather be with someone who you found as your soulmate, but is a pauper on the streets. But you can't marry them because then you would both be on the streets. So I think that, you know, all the pieces are so important so we don't end up back to that point where we have no option as female and as men, but as females, right? So
Well, and
that's
that's
just my 2 cents.
like you said with males, though, you mentioned it's like the amount of pressure to keep your line and to keep your line pure, so to speak,
Right,
and your blue, you want blue bloods all together. Like, just how unhappy people were at that time, and the fact is, like, a mistress was commonplace and expected. You married to procreate and to
right,
secure bloodlines, um,
right,
and how, like, if you didn't have money, you were free to marry who you wanted, but you were poor, and, like, women breeding regency really made me appreciate more what we have as women today.
right.
We can get a job. Like, their job was to marry well, and if they didn't marry well, they were a burden on their family.
Mhm.
And being a spinster and not having children and not having like, not only did you need to marry, you need to make sure you have a child, because if your husband dies, you gotta make sure that that child can take care of you. And if you only had girls, oh, you're doubly screwed. Yeah, it's crazy. Like,
Right, right.
that's what they lived through.
Yeah,
So, made me appreciate all those women who came before us a lot more.
Well,
yeah,
and you
for
mentioned
sure.
the guys, and I keep going back to the mafia romance just because that's what I'm, reading currently, right? Looking at that right now, like the girl, yes, she has a backbone and she doesn't want things, but she didn't want to be betrothed to anyone. She didn't want to be put into that lifestyle. So she made people think that she wasn't pure and that she was a whore. So currently, like, though she was still a virgin, his whole family believed her reputation, so they've all told him that she wasn't fit to be in their family because she was a whore and that she was this and that she was that. And that was modern day, right? Like, so how archaic to have that same concept, right? Like, follow down that, like, she's not good enough. She's not pure enough. She's not from a good enough family. She's not, like, that's still happening.
Oh, yeah. It blows my mind, but you hear it all the time.
You have to fight it.
It
Yeah.
really
That's still happening. That's still happening. And I think maybe, like, I don't know, I just want, like, everyone to find, like, the best part of themselves, right? Like, male, female, love who you love, like, whatever that is. Find the
Yeah,
best part of you and be proud of it and hold on to it and don't hide it from everyone. Like, if you're great at art, put it out there. If you're great at writing, put it out there. If you're great at cooking, put it out there, right? Like, let everybody see you shine. Like, don't hide under things. Like, I want everybody to share, like, the greatest parts of themselves,
100%.
right? Like, I don't want anybody to ever feel less. So I mean, that's just me, right? Like, that's just how I feel. And I think maybe that's why I love those, like, FMCs that have such a strong backbone that are like, don't F with me. Like, this is not happening. Like, I'm gonna stand up for myself. I'm going to do these things. I'm gonna, like, this isn't gonna happen. I'm gonna find my own path. I'm gonna do my own things. I'm gonna find my own way. Like, I think that's what I love so much about it because we're gonna rewrite the narrative, right?
Mhm.
Like, I don't care if I fit into this box because I don't think there should be a box, right?
No.
I don't think any of us should fit into a box. I don't. I don't think there should be anything. I think we should be in these places where, I mean, I think we should find our opposite. I think we should find that push and pull. I think we should find that balance, right? Like, whatever that looks like.
Yes.
That's just me. That got really deep, guys. I'm really sorry that I took all the fun out of it. Blame the vodka. Okay. So this is the time of night that Steph loves so much. So I like to throw like some unhinged question out there that nobody's had time to think about. It's the last question of the evening. Steph hates this part because she doesn't have time to think about it. She's an overthinker just like I am. And it really just ruins her whole night. And it gives me great joy to ruin her night. So the question for tonight is, if you had to fight one fictional character to the death, who are you choosing and why do you think you would win?
That's a tough.
I always tell Steph I'm going to play Jeopardy music for her because she tries to get out of it and she lets other people do all the talking.
Man,
I do.
character.
She does.
I know.
Let's go with Hercule Poirot from, Agatha Christie's books. Yep, I'd fight him to the death. It would take a lot of thinking because he'd be all about, the little gray cells and telling me that. But he gets really annoying really fast. So I had to be very extra clever on how I would do it. I couldn't just poison him because he would know that. But I think while he's adjusting his mustaches a little back to back.
That's funny. Oh,
Why Steph thinks, I think I would go with probably Bella Swan.
Oh,
She might be one of the most obnoxious characters I've ever read. Though I do love the Twilight series for what it is, right? Like, it was a gateway to so many things for so many people. But I think, especially in New Moon, she was so weak and disgusting. I think she would have been such easy prey that it would have been so easy to take her out and she would have wanted it. Like, she was begging for it at that point. I would have been doing it a favor and then we wouldn't have had to have suffered through the other two books. Or whatever sequels are coming down the pipeline that I've heard rumored.
that's hilarious.
But if not her, I feel like Tamlin. I feel like any of us could take Tamlin. I feel like if he got a splinter, he would keel over and die.
yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't know. There's the kings and queens in the Everflame that all have power divided among them, and the FNC. Anyway, she's part god, but you don't find that out until later on in the books. But then they're all very greedy for the power anyway, and she's of the greater good. But I think I would fight them where she doesn't like kill them off in moments that I feel like she should. So maybe them, but I don't know. I think that book that we talked about, I can't remember the title. Like I should have just never have finished that book. I think the female main character in that book, she should just never. So fight her, or maybe really help her
Until the world falls down?
Yeah, until the world falls down and really help her not make that horrible choice yet again at the end of the book. Yet again. So she was a sad character. But anyway, I don't know. Those two individuals probably. Yeah.
That's who you're taking out.
Yeah. The worthless kings and queens in the Everflame and the female main character until the world falls down.
You like it. Like it. So if you've made it all the way to the end, congratulations. You are officially one of us now. Unhinged, opinionated, emotionally attached to fictional people, and probably questioning at least one life choice. Welcome. Huge thank you to Stacia Kay Wood for diving into the chaos with us, sharing her brilliance, her honesty, and her absolute vibe. We adore her. If you loved tonight's episode, hit follow, leave us ratings, or whisper our name into the void. Apparently, all three help the algorithm. As always, drink water, read something delicious, and remember, we'll be back next week to spiral all over again. Good night!